Hello and welcome to another episode of Driving with the Guru. This is your host, Ricky Catton, Symbian Guru, and you'll notice that the background is now moving, which is, I'm real excited about this. And I'm actually using the Nokia HH12 and CR82, and I'd mentioned CR89 before, but it is the 82 I checked, car mount system, and you can see how steady it is. I'm driving on the same roads that I used to drive on, and I'm sure some of y'all remember how bumpy that used to be. So really thoroughly impressed. I've actually got a video that I'm going to insert here in a minute that I took with the, again, just like this, on some really bumpy roads, went over railroad tracks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to insert the video now. I am testing out the Nokia HH12 and the CR82 car mount system, and I'm trying to take a video to show you how smooth it is and how much more stable it is than the other system that I was using. So I'm cruising down the road, and this is actually kind of a smooth road, but we'll see how bumpy it is. I'm fixing to go over some railroad tracks here in a minute, so you'll see how firm and stable that the mount actually does hold the phone, which has better things than just taking videos of yourself while driving around town. If you're doing GPS, if you're watching a movie on there, of course you wouldn't watch a movie while you're driving, but you may. You know, it's important that it stays stable and it's not bouncing all over the place. A, so you can read it. B, so that, you know, you can watch your movie or whatever. But it's important that it holds it steady and that it's not jostling about the whole time. So waiting for the train actually did just pass by, so that would be the time that I choose to make a video. So here come the railroad tracks, and as you'll be able to see, it's a remarkably stable picture still. You know, I just went over freaking railroad tracks and it didn't shake that much, so hopefully, I haven't watched the video yet. But if you remember my previous episodes of Driving with the Guru, then you'll remember how bumpy and shifty it was. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a slight cold actually. I've still got the phlegm going on, so wouldn't you know that the time that I go to video this, I get stoplights and train stoppings and all that kind of fun stuff. So but anyways, hopefully this kind of influences you if you're wanting to use the car mount. It's great for using your phone in your car. Most of the modern aftermarket stereos and a lot of the factory ones, actually, you can really easily add a 3.5mm audio jack so that you can plug straight into your N95, your N82 or whatever, and use it as your stereo practically. I mean, you know, with an 8GB micro SD, those are under $100 now. You could totally use your phone as your sound system for your car or truck or whatever. So that's definitely a viable option, and again, you want that mounted securely. And so yeah, so I guess this video hopefully gives you a good idea of how stable and how, you know, firm the grip is in the phone. I've tried my hardest to actually get the phone to fall out of the mount like I was able to with my other mount, and I can't do it. So the Nokia one definitely gives a better grip, superior, you know, stability and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this will help you in future purchasing decisions. And if not, well, it's fun for me to take the video anyways. You know me, I like to video and drive. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions or anything, please leave them as a comment on the bottom of the thread. And thanks again, as always, for reading Symbian Guru, and hopefully you're finding the information useful. That was a good example of how the Nokia car mount system really improves the stability and makes it really easy to video yourself driving, obviously, or whatever else you may want to use it for. If you're doing GPS or something, it's really good to not have that you know, jiggling around in your windshield or anything. So real excited to have another actual driving with the Guru as opposed to parking with the Guru. So we'll see how this keeps going. That's really it. I mean, there's a little bit of like that. Next week is CES. Things are going to be really crazy, and I've got a really exciting chatting with the Guru coming up next week, so I'm real excited about that. You'll definitely want to stay tuned. I am working really hard to get those listed in iTunes. I've got a plugin set up, and I need to figure out where to put the files and all that kind of stuff. So bear with me on that, but it'll become really, really easy to share it with your friends. Just say, hey, here's the link in iTunes, go at it. Or you'll be able to search the iTunes podcast directory and get both chatting and potentially driving with the Guru. I haven't figured that out yet, or decided if I want to do that. So let's check and see what's in my glove box today. I'm real excited about this one. And today in the glove box is the iPhone. Once again, I know I've already had this, but I've spent 3 days now. It took me probably a grand total of about 15 hours to figure out how to unlock and jailbreak this thing. I really found it absurd, and there's posts coming on this. I really found it absurd that I couldn't just put in my AT&T SIM card and use this thing without activating through iTunes, because I have an old MediaWorks package and there's no way in the world that I would give that up just to test an iPhone. So I was really frustrated by the lack of, I mean, it might as well have been a CDMA phone as far as, you know, keeping with standards and this whole idea of a SIM card and all that kind of stuff. So not really impressed with that. However, the phone itself is actually not that bad once you jailbreak it. I know I said previously that I was going to try to use it, you know, out of the box like Apple intended for a week or two. Yeah, there's no way possible. I lasted maybe 10 minutes and I was like, forget this. So, but once you have jailbroken it, it is really, it's really actually usable. I mean, there's tons of applications for it, and I've got several posts coming up. I don't want to spoil all the fun here on the podcast, but it's really kind of cool. For those of you that haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. And I've actually, two things that I do want to highlight that I've found for it thus far is there's a program called Ants, iAnts or something like that. And all it does is put a bunch of little creepy crawly ants all over your screen all the time. Like, that's the whole application. Which is really stupid, but I mean, it's kind of fun, you know. I mean, it makes me want to constantly like brush them off, but kind of fun. I don't know if you can even see them crawling around on here right now, probably not. The other one is a voice pack, and it's a chick with a British accent, and it's a lot of fun. So let me show you. Sorry, I'm driving. Maybe we shouldn't do this driving with the Guru. I'm going to lock the phone.
System locked.
And you can hear that it says that. Now when you unlock it, listen. Oh.
Yes, lover.
It says yes, lover. Love that. Little things so far are kind of entertaining, such as that. So that's really the iPhone right now. More to come on that soon, and definitely stay tuned for CES. I will be the at-home correspondent for Mobile Burn, so I have actual people at CES that are going to be reporting back to me, essentially, even though they're my bosses. And so I'll be getting a constant flood of emails from the floor, and I will also be compiling whatever I can for Simian Guru and Mobile Burn. So that's it. More to come in just a little bit.